AWA Lunatics, Mike Napier here, welcoming you to another edition of The Verbal Assault, where we get an earful from the men and women who make up the Assault Wrestling Alliance. And we have quite the episode in store for you today, with quite the guest. But before that, a little bit of housekeeping. We've just announced, December 17th, the event is Cold War Christmas. We're stuffing your stockings full of grapples, moonsaults, figure four leg locks, and probably a couple dozen or so chair shots. So far announced, Mother Endless defends her AWA Women's Rose Division Championship against the Divine One, Olivia Divine. The AWA World Tag Team titles are put on the line when new champs the Blood Brothers take on CWO. All Heart Zion Hart goes up against Irvin Legend. Paragon defends his TV championship against Anthony Anthons. And of course, the Russian Destruction Vladimir Kolov's AWA Heavyweight Championship is in jeopardy as he goes to war with the Patriot. More wrestle goodness to be announced soon, but secure your tickets now, details of which are below in the description as always. Now, on to our guest. I have the privilege of talking to our new AWA commissioner. He is the man who always calls it straight down the middle. He is the vice president of Extreme Affairs. He probably owns the loudest whistle in pro wrestling history. So without further ado, take it away, me from 2 days ago. I'm here talking with Bill Fonzie Alfonso, our new AWA commissioner. And, I mean, to be able to say that after the fact you've worked damn near everywhere, and we can actually say that you're the AWA commissioner is beyond exciting. So how you feeling on the new job with us?
I'm pretty flattered by getting a phone call from the promoter and the owner of the company, and asked me to consider being a commissioner. And it's right up my alley, Mike. I love the business, and I think I'm going to fit right in. I've been around the world and worked for all the major companies. I know the rules. I know what's exciting. So I just want to bring in something good to the company and add to. If I can be a small part of adding to the sports entertainment community in Maryland, I'm happy to do it. So let's see what kind of job I can pull off.
Great. It's once again, it's fantastic having you. And you know, Maryland's a wrestling state, and I think we're trying to like help bring it back a little bit more to the forefront.
I've been in and out of Maryland my whole career, basically. When I started with WCW, where I worked for Florida Championship Wrestling back in the 80s. And then once the territories died out, you can watch them on Vice TV now. The Rock's producing the territories. Have you seen any of the episodes?
That is great.
Pretty cool. So when they talk about the Florida territory, you'll see me repping in the background and so on. So that's where I got my start. Then eventually I went to Ted Turner, WCW, and I left there and ended up working for Vince, WWF, and doing some WrestleMania. And was personal assistant for the largest athlete on the planet at that time, Giant Gonzalez. We toured the whole world for 3 years, and here's a picture of Giant Gonzalez. Now, that's Hulk Hogan. You know Hogan's tall. I'm not short, but look how giant. He was the largest athlete on the planet at that time. It was very cool. I was a personal assistant, had a ball doing it.
Oh, that's great.
And got chokeslammed by him at WrestleMania and knocked me out. This was pretty cool. We had a giant crying. He was literally crying over me at one knee because he knocked me out. He felt so bad, you know.
Oh man, cool. That's so cool.
So I'm doing a lot of stuff, Mike. Thanks for having me on the show. That's WrestleMania 9, Giant Gonzalez and The Undertaker. Of course, me refereeing. I'm working with RBD CDB, his new product. We ship anywhere in the country. If you guys are interested in any of his stuff, you can use my code Fonzie and you get a 10% discount. They ship anywhere in the country, totally legal, and it's fantastic product. I wouldn't represent it if I didn't think so. There's some old pictures of me and Dusty, the American Dream, and Sabu. There's a great picture of me and Andre the Giant. So I think I'm qualified to come in and act as the commissioner. There's one of my heroes, Babe Ruth, if you can see him. So I'm happy. There's the NWA World Heavyweight Belt.
Oh, wow. That's incredible.
That Harley Race gave me. There's a replica, of course, that I refereed so many of his matches, and he thought I was a great referee and deserved the belt of my own. And he made that for me before he died.
Wow.
Or had it made. And there's some ECW merchandise, some jackets that I still wear
Oh,
around
wow.
when I do podcasts or different uh, conventions and stuff like that. So let me get it all set up here, and then we can go. How's my lighting,
Oh,
Mike?
fantastic.
That is my forehead shining, Daddy. Did I look good for Commissioner, Daddy?
Excellent. Excellent. Good stuff.
All right, thank you. All right, let's get this thing started. I'm happy to be a part of AWA.
Great. I just, you mentioned Dusty Rhodes earlier. And I know you and Dusty were pretty close, from what I understand. I'm just wondering, because there's always great stories about Dusty, just the kind of person that he is. Um, is there something like from Dusty for like you really took to heart from back in those days that not necessarily wrestling business related, but you hear so much about him as a human, like outside of wrestling, something that you really took away from him as a human being.
I took a lot away from Dusty. He taught me a lot. I was a young guy in the business in my very early 20s when I signed a contract with Florida Championship Wrestling, and Dusty was the booker and boss. And within a year, I learned so much, and he taught me to don't be 5 minutes, be 2 hours early, don't be 5 minutes late. He taught me how to be compassionate. I asked him to be, I said, Dusty, I wish you were my father, because my dad had passed away a few years earlier. And he said, I am your father, son. Um, what a great guy, man. Just, he was phenomenal to work with and for. He was my teacher for 10 years. Um, and what a great guy, man.
Yeah. I've never heard anybody say one ill word about Dusty Rhodes.
I don't think there's an ill word to say about the American Dream. He was the Hulk Hogan of the 70s, of the 80s,
Yep.
really. You know, he was and then Hulk Hogan came along, and uh, when I use Hulk Hogan's name, a lot of wrestlers, unless you're a wrestling fan, I can name a bunch of wrestlers you would know them, Mike, because you love the business like I do, right? But if I'm at a party with my wife, she's a nurse, and we're at a party, there's a bunch of doctors and whoever at a Christmas party, and they say, "Oh, Fonzie, what do you do for a living?" And I say, "Sports entertainment." I don't want to say wrestling, because some people don't know how to take it. I say, "Oh, sports entertainment." And they say, "Sports entertainment? What is that?" I say, with Hulk Hogan. And then everybody knows what I do, Hulk Hogan. And I can't say Ricky Steamboat or this guy or that guy. I'll say one name, the biggest name in the business ever. But before Hogan, it was Dusty.
Yeah. Yeah, Hogan's name is kind of like if a name could be the genre of wrestling, I guess.
Correct.
Yeah.
And I use it all the. It doesn't get me out of trouble, but they know what I'm talking
Uh,
about. I can't say Ric Flair. Ric Flair was probably the greatest
yeah.
champion, and the greatest worker. My God, I refereed so many 60-minute matches. In fact, I'm on the cover of a Japanese magazine refereeing this match in 1991. We were in Tokyo, Japan, and he fought their champion, Fujinami. And we were at the Tokyo Dome and working in front of 65,000 people. And of course, we had a hell of a show. Unbelievable. That's one of my highlights of my year. And of course, WrestleMania and so on. And uh, but man, Hogan is the name. Hulk Hogan is the biggest name ever in the business.
Uh, going back through all these names, how has it felt more or less to watch the business evolve, like from how it's viewed nowadays versus back then to how it's kind of like conducted, the art form of it? Has it felt like it all just a positive evolution to you?
Well, it's graduate. Wrestling has graduated with time. WWF, Worldwide Wrestling Federation. Vince McMahon wanted to take the word wrestling out of it, so now it's worldwide entertainment. You know what I mean? Wrestling's outdated. The word wrestling's outdated. I don't use it. I say sports entertainment all the time at different places. It's evolved because look, social media is so big. It's crazy. Um, and back in the day, when I told you I worked for Florida Wrestling with Dusty in the '80s, the heels and the faces, bad guys and the good guys wouldn't see each other until they got in the ring. I would just carry over a finish and say, "Hey, Dusty, want a small package 1, 2, 3," and they would go through their match, in the ring without even seeing each other. And now guys in the dressing room talking for 20 minutes and talking for 30 minutes about their match. It's crazy, but it's evolution. And back then we didn't have too many high flyers. It wasn't so hardcore to the tables. But it's adjusted with time. I think Vince McMahon has done a great job. There's nobody bigger than Vince, and I like AEW. I like their system there. They're pretty cool. But there's nobody bigger than Vince, and he's done really well. Really well. It's $1 billion company. I'm still a part of their wellness program. If I ever get sick or anything, they'll help
Oh,
me
that's
and
great.
so on. Permanent member. If you've ever had a contract with them, it's very cool. A lot of companies won't do that. I haven't worked with them since the
Wow.
'90s, and I still talk to their company once a month.
Oh, wow.
For it's pretty
That
cool.
that's
Pretty
really cool.
cool.
Yeah. One thing,
But the business has changed so much. It's crazy. It's crazy.
yeah, I think what I like about where wrestling is today, I know for me personally, is there's so many, it's easier to be able to find interesting off to the side kind of stuff, but there's so many different flavors, and nothing has to like compete with one another. I don't like it when fans feel the need to compete on different types of wrestling. Just try to enjoy every single flavor. I'm also a big film fan. I don't try to put one
Me
genre.
too.
Yeah, I don't try to put one genre over the other. It's all the art.
I love the art, and I love that freedom we got to be our own characters. Like actually a character on in ECW, um, and what you see is kind of me in real life. I just hype it up a little bit. I'm kind of a hyper guy anyway and talk a lot. And so I was perfect for my spot there as a anti ECW when they first brought me in to be I just came from WWF and was Vince McMahon wants the doctor, his wife, and the 2 kids at ringside. ECW was our audience was 90% male age from 19 to 31, hardcore. They wanted blood, guts, tables, and chairs. And so when they brought me in to be anti ECW, it was a perfect fit. And then they put me with Taz and Van Dam, and the Fonzie character was born. And thank you, Todd Gordon, for starting ECW and giving me a good break in that. 'Cause before that I was a referee for 25 years, a worldwide referee all over the world,
Yeah.
and very good at the job. But when I do these shows, I work almost every weekend somewhere in the United States. It's not because I was one of the best referees in the country. It's because of ECW, my character, and the exposure I got there.
And
So
you added
pretty
so
cool
much.
stuff.
Yeah.
I was lucky.
Yeah.
Only the right time in the right place, and I could carry my load to a certain extent.
And I
Pretty
mean,
damn cool, Mikey.
who couldn't forget the whistle?
Oh, my whistle's done so well that Mattel Toys, I talked to Mattel Toys, and they helped me create a whistle, and
Oh
then
man.
give away. Damn cool. So I do it at shows and conventions and stuff. It's been a pretty good hit. I'm the only guy. I'm the only whistleblower. So
Oh, that's so
pretty
cool.
cool.
I didn't. I got to get one of those. I did not know they
I'll
did
bring
that.
you a couple. I'll send. Give me your address. I'll
Oh,
send
thank,
them to you in a
thank you. That would be great. Oh my God,
Yeah.
that's so cool. Wow. So you've I guess from your time in ECW, you've been adjacent to some pretty like brutal matches during that heyday. And now with AWA, we ourselves can have some pretty brutal matches. So as
Well, I see that. The name AWA, Assault Wrestling Alliance. That says a
Yeah,
lot. Assault
we call
Wrestling Alliance is not, this isn't for the weak of hearts. This is pretty much that stands for pretty damn hardcore.
we aim for
So
hard hitting. We call it the assault asylum for a reason. Um,
I like it, and I think I'm going to do a damn good job as a commissioner because of ECW and the extreme measures that we went through, and we were actually the innovators of violence back in the day.
mm-hmm.
So well, I don't know if we started the hardcore, but I think we did. And
You
now we have
cemented
that
it.
cult like it's amazing that I get kids 25 years old come up to me and say, "Man, I loved you in ECW. Oh my God, this match and you and Beulah and this and that." And I said, "Brother, how old are you?" He said, "Oh, I'm 23. How do you know ECW? It's got a cult like following. It's all over Peacock, and they're true wrestling fans. It's amazing.
Yeah,
So that's why I'm going to fit in good with the Assault Wrestling Alliance."
damn right, damn right. Is there any decrees or any like rule changes you have planned as commissioner, or you gonna kind of feel it
No,
out?
step in and hey, this is a brand new company, man, and I'm going to step in and try to enhance. I'm going to try to give it a little my flavor and try to enhance. We got a big Koloff where he's our champion. He's badass. I'm not real familiar with him, but I will be. I'm looking up all these guys. I just got introduced to your company just shortly. Like last month, I've been negotiating my contract. We had a verbal, now I got a signed contract. So let's see what happens. Women's division. Can't wait for that. Our tag champs, man, the Blood Brothers, and so on. There's so many cool things, man. I can't wait. I cannot wait.
Yeah,
And I don't want to do anything. I just want to add. That's my job, is to add and make things pretty damn
that's
cool.
that's that's what we're excited to hear. Yeah, really want to have that brain of yours going to work with us. One I think really cool, unique aspect of AWA is we allow champions to actually pick their stipulations. Is that something as commissioner you'd like to see continue?
If it's working for the company, if it's working for the guys, and the people like it, if the audience, the fans that are watching this are entertained by that, hey, I'm all for the entertainment. I want to add stuff like that. That's pretty cool. I mean, every match cannot be the same and can't be like that, but certain stipulations. Why not? Why not catch people off guard? I like it. So the element of surprise is pretty cool.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah. I know Koloff. I spoke to him in our first episode, and he mentioned wanting to bring the Russian chain match to AWA. Very hefty amount of barbarism with that match. So you
it's funny you say that. I've worked with many Koloff, Ivan Koloff, Nikita Koloff, this Koloff, that Koloff. And speaking about the Russian chain, my first professional match I got paid for was in 1978 in Lubbock, Texas. It was the original Sheik, Sabu's uncle, the Sheik against Terry Funk in a chain match. I made $90 that night, and I was the referee, and I got beat up and stabbed by a pencil. I still got the lead mark right here in the pencil. Um, and it was a hell of a thing, the chain match. And of course, it was a sellout, and I'll never forget it. And it was very gory and hardcore.
yeah,
And
I
this
can
was in
imagine.
1978. So Koloff wants to bring the Russian chain in. I'm all for it. As long as we can get by with the commission, the state athletic commission, and Maryland, because I know they're kind of strict, and sometimes they get upset if we, start bleeding. Nobody wants it, but hey, blood and sports entertainment go together sometimes,
Yeah,
especially in the Russian chain match. Hey, Koloff, I can't wait to meet you, and I can't wait to see what you got, man.
he can
He's our world champion. Good for him. He's got to be badass to be world champion,
he can
right?
be pretty brutal. Yeah. Actually,
Okay.
there's like a lot of the talk amongst AWA, amongst the fan base, amongst people in the back. Something that happened actually at our last show, Fall Brawl. Pretty great slugfest of an I Quit match for Koloff's Open Challenge title between Koloff and Everest. Everest ended up passing out from pain thanks to a figure four put on by
Really?
Koloff. So he never actually
Wow.
quit. But what is controversial is what happened after the match, which is Koloff trying to break Everest's leg with just a rain of chair shots. Are you gonna like let Koloff attempt to eliminate his opponents like that after matches? Are you gonna put any contingencies in place to control him, or
Well, I'm not sure exactly what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna play by ear. When I go, I think I'm gonna come up in March and be on a live show and get introduced to all the guys, all our champions, Mother Endless, the women's division, um, the cruiserweight Mike Law and the tag champs, the Blood Brothers and Paragon, the TV champ. I can't wait to meet him because I'm affiliated, the longest running television champion. I manage RVD as a manager of champions for over 2 years, and so I take to heart that TV belt. So I want to come check everything out, and if Koloff thinks he can, but hey, look, if Koloff challenge those guys to all these hardcore matches and they know what they're getting into, if they get in the ring, okay, they're giving the yes, they're saying yes, I'll do that, I'll take a beating or I'll give a beating. So Koloff, don't take your opponents too lightly because there's guys your size and they can dish out the same stuff you can dish out. So right now you're the champion. I heard you're badass. You're badass champion. So, but there are guys, if they want to get in the ring with you and have that type of match, I'm okay with it.
and we have some pretty brutal champions. Other competitors that come to mind are Mother Endless and who are our women's champ and our merciless champion Funny Bone. Those are two.
Boom.
They have a bit of a duo thing going on, and they don't have much in the way of sympathy for their opponents. It doesn't even seem like they're that interested in the titles more than just having an excuse to harm uh, whoever gets in their way. They can get out of control pretty quickly.
I can't wait to meet all these characters. I can't wait to meet all these AWA superstars, Daddy. I just can't wait to get on the job and meet everybody. I remember I come from Extreme Championship Wrestling. Remember, I was there for 22 pay-per-views in 5 years and managed all their champions and been in. Have you seen that match between Terry Funk and Sabu in the Bob Wire match where Sabu rips his damn bicep open from here to here and continues the match and tapes it up in the ring? That was hardcore, man. That was crazy. So hey, I'm all for the hardcore entertainment. And I had a match with. I don't wrestle that much. I'm a man. I was a referee for 25 years, and I stepped into the management business and was lucky and did really good in that and loved the business. And then once in a while, I'd have a problem, and Beulah McGillicuddy and I, Tommy Dreamer's girl, had fallen out, and we had a hell of a match, and almost bled to death, and it was great, man. So people are still talking about that. I had to get rushed to the hospital and so on. It was pretty cool.
From what I understand, that was because you took aspirin before the before the match.
Yeah, I did take aspirin. I had a headache. I did have a little bit of a headache, and when I got to the hospital, I had to get rushed to the hospital after the 8 minute match. If you watch it, you can Google it right now. But Beulah versus Fonzie, or Bill Alfonso, ended up pop right up, and you can watch the whole episode, the whole match. And I started bleeding right at the beginning. I bled hardcore for 7 minutes and had to get rushed to the fucking hospital. And when I told the doctor I took a bunch of aspirin before the match, and oh great, they couldn't stop the bleeding, and I almost died, but it was pretty cool.
Yeah, I guess Paul Heyman has alleged you lost like half your blood supply or something like that.
That doctor estimated about a third. Any more than that, I would have been dead.
Oh man,
Uh,
yeah,
I had to get put on. They, put all kind of fluid in, and they brought that thing that shocks your heart, wakes you up. I say, hey, what is that for? They say, oh, just in case, Fonzie. And I did pass out a few times in the operating room. They had to do emergency surgery on my head. Here's a scar right here where I got busted open. Can you see that,
wow,
Mikey?
yeah, no, it still comes
It's right
through.
above there. It's about 2 inches long and pretty wide. A little bit of my brain was hanging out. I think I don't know that for
And
sure, but
you weren't supposed to bleed.
Not like that. Not like that. So I'm again back to AWA. I'm perfect for the position. I'm perfect. I'm going to be a great commissioner because I've been around the violence, and I accept it. I'm pretty cool with it, and I like it. I don't want to be in the ring with these guys, but I want to see some cool stuff. I want to see Koloff. I want to see Mother Endless. I want to see her badass. She's the assault champion. What a title! And you got to be pretty hardcore to be the women's assault champion in a company. And Funny Merciless, the Merciless champion, Funny Bone. I can't wait to meet him. How about Mike Law? How about the cruiserweight? Tell me a little bit about him.
Oh yeah, Mike Law. He just won our cruiserweight tournaments for the vacant title. He's our new champ. Crowd pleaser.
Congratulations.
Ring veteran. He's a hell of a competitor, and the matches he's going to be able to put on as our cruiserweight champ are going to be something to behold.
Well, that's good news. I hear nothing but good news. Tell me a little bit about the Blood Brothers. Why do they call them the Blood Brothers? Because they cut their wrists and put their hands together like that? Blood Brothers bleed a lot. What's with that?
That would be a nice gimmick. The Blood Brothers are some big, strong mofos. They are here to
big guy, huh?
They are here to destroy. Yeah.
Really?
They just won the titles at Fall Brawl. After a pretty tough match, which saw the Fly guys unfortunately separates. But the Blood Brothers, I don't know who is going to be able to get through them. It's a bit like going to be like fighting two brick walls.
Well, that's why they're the tag team champs, Daddy. I can't wait to meet all these guys. I just can't wait. I think I'm pretty sure I'm coming up. I talked to the promoter, and I'm coming up in March.
Hope so. Can't wait to see you.
And they got a live show somewhere that they want me to attend and meet everybody and give them some new rules. Hey, I'm not going to give them new rules. I'm just going to keep it going, man. You guys got a good little system going. I want to add.
Thank you.
I want to add some of my veteranness to the shows.
Yeah, we are lucky to have you and have your brain to pick from. Yeah,
that's very flattering for you to say that. Thank you, Mike.
And another AWA star I want to ask you about is you have a young guy who's young right here from Waldorf, Maryland, where the show takes place. Young Zion Hart. And I think for me, for promoter, for the fans, we were reminded a lot of an ECW star, Mikey Whipwreck.
I love Mikey Whipwreck.
Yeah, it's big fan. Yeah,
December 17th. I'm going to see him December 17th. We have a big show at the ECW Arena. December 17th, all the ECW superstars are going to be there, from Sandman, Van Dam, Sabu, Shane Douglas, Rhino, everybody that was Mikey Whipwreck, Francine, everybody that you can think of is going to be there. It's already sold out. I'm looking forward to seeing Mikey. I think he was one of our youngest world champs. I think he was world champ at 19.
I believe so, right? Yeah.
Something like that, yeah. I can't recall the exact date, but or how old he was, but yes, he was. He's badass.
Yeah.
So you comparing your guy to Mikey Whipwreck, kind of?
Yeah, he's got that. He's got that like underdog, not to be trifled with sort of quality that I think Mikey had. And if you have, I think it would be great for Zion to. What kind of like words of encouragement from like your years and working with Mikey Whipwreck, would you have for Zion Hart?
Don't give up. Keep going, doing what you do. You love the business. Apparently, you like him. You're the host of the show. You're the Joey Styles of AWA. So, Daddy, your opinion is valuable to me. I'm picking up a lot just hearing you talking about this company, talking about the other new guys. I haven't met any of them yet. So, words of encouragement, keep doing what you're doing because you're entertaining Mike or Joey Styles of AWA. So good luck and don't give up. Whatever you do. Let me give you another example of Mikey Whipwreck and your guy you were just talking about. Is Spike Dudley, the Giant Killer. Man, he was a skinny little kid, but man, he was determined. He took an ass whipping every freaking weekend, but once in a while he'd slip one in, and yeah, he actually pinned, if you can believe this, the one of the best big man in the business, Bam Bam Bigelow. He pinned him for a 1, 2, 3 count, and Spike Dudley couldn't have weighed 160 pounds. It was a unusual matchup, different. The size difference was crazy. But man, he pulled one off, and I'll never forget that night. It was very cool. So I say, fight. You guys love the business just like me. So don't give up, man. I wish you guys could all get contracts with Vince McMahon and make $1 million in the business. But unfortunately, Mike, you know this. There's only so many jobs in WWE. There's only 150 contracts, but there's 1,000 guys that can, fill those contracts. There's only so many contracts with AEW, the big new company that's doing so well. And it's very hard to get a contract. But working the indie scene and working these smaller companies and working around the country is pretty satisfying to a lot of these guys. And a lot of the guys got full-time jobs and families and so on. So it's not about there's no huge, big money. You're not going to make 700,000 working indie shows, guarantee it. But you're gonna have fun. You're gonna make money. You're gonna get seasoned. You know what I mean? And who knows? Be in the right place at the right time. And you never know when somebody's watching and say, "Damn, Vince's scout say, hey, did you see that guy Koloff? Or did you see their TV champ Paragon? Or how about the Funny Bone? Oh, we can do something with them." It's all about the timing and being in the right place. And when they call you, you better be fucking ready.
Yeah. It's, wrestling is one of those things where it really is all the passion. You do it
Yeah.
fully for the passion, and I think that's what I think you're gonna really like about being here at AWA is we started just trying to do something positive in the community and get people together, and we just want people to be happy to be there, to want to be there, to want to put on a show for people, and we want people to want the crowd to be involved. We want everyone to kind of like be together, under this umbrella.
Pretty cool feeling, isn't it?
It is, yeah, yeah.
I love it, brother. I'm 65 years old. Can you believe that? I started when I was 23 years old. 21 years old trying to break into business. And still my compassion is um, exactly like you're talking about. It's in my heart. I love the
I can
business.
tell,
It's
yeah.
been good to me. And I can't believe I'm still relevant in the sports entertainment business. Can you believe it? Look, I'm on a podcast with Mike, the host of AEW. You know what I mean? It's pretty freaking cool.
Hey,
And get to travel around the country. I'm doing a show. My next show, I'm flying to Cleveland next weekend and doing a show. And I'm doing a Comic Con and at a different place. I'm doing a toy store with Sabu. I'm going to California for WrestleMania week and do all those big conventions they have out there. I'm already signed a contract with the promoter out there. Pretty damn cool. There's another one in Jacksonville coming up. It's called River City. Um, Yep, River City, and they have every year they have a big convention, and I this is my third year going there, man, and I love it. It's the passion for the business, and I'm not making $1 million a year. I made my big money with Ted Turner and WCW. My house is paid for. I do well, and I work for Vince McMahon. I made really nice money, but these smaller shows, I would like to make $400,000 or $500,000 a year, but I'm not. But I'm doing well, and I love the business. I love the business, and I'm so happy and flattered that Don called me and invited me up and a chance to be the commissioner of a new starting company, and I think I'll fit right in because I'm hardcore just like you, Mike, and I'm a winner, Daddy. Believe me.
Yeah, you're gonna fit in. You're gonna fit in perfect. Crowd's gonna go nuts. You're able to come to the show. So, phew, I have kind of like not a very serious question. Nice.
All right,
It's not a very serious question, but it's something
okay.
I'm never going to get this chance to ask this question again. It's something I've
Yeah,
I've
you
I've
will.
long I've long wondered. So, like you mentioned, you and Giant Gonzalez, El Gigante, were pretty close
Yes.
confidants, travel buddies, all that.
Yeah, absolutely. I was his personal assistant for 3 years. He wasn't away from me longer than 20 minutes. We never split a room. My room was right next to his. You know, we were together 24/7 for 3 years. It was unbelievable being with the tallest athlete on the planet. The guy that would be close to his height would be Ming, who played for Houston, the basketball team in Houston, professional basketball. I think it was Chinese. He would be the closest of being the size of Giant Gonzalez. So go ahead. I'm sorry for interrupting. I just get
Oh,
carried away and got to the stories.
I've always wondered, like, because this is going to sound like stupid, but based on how we know Vince McMahon's mind works,
Yes,
in the realm of the show, like in the sphere of the world of the WWF, to
yes.
Vince,
This is a big world.
yeah, to Vince, were we the audience supposed to take Giant Gonzalez as being naked?
No, I don't think so. I think it was just an outfit that they came up with. It wasn't a spectacular outfit. It wasn't a bad outfit. It was just a tight fitting suit, and it had the muscles created and all airbrush and stuff. I don't think they knew what to do with the Giant because, Ted Turner brought him in. The Giant was playing European basketball. He was an excellent
Yeah,
ball player, but played basketball and one of the Turner owned the Atlanta Braves, the Atlanta Hawks, WCW, and CNN, owns this and that, one of the richest guys in the world at that time. So he brought Giant Gonzalez in to play basketball for the Atlanta Hawks, but he had been playing in Europe for a while, and his knees weren't 100%. And they trained him for about a year to get him in, to hire a nutritionist and a trainer, and he couldn't play. They wanted him to play at least 100% for 20% of the game or something. He couldn't handle it. So Turner, well, not Turner, but his people said, "Hey, I'm sorry, we can't use you in the NBA because your knees and you can't play. But we own a wrestling thing." And Giant Gonzalez says, "What's wrestling?" He didn't know anything about professional wrestling at all. And so we trained him for a year. And he wasn't a talented. He couldn't do all kind of stuff, but you know, he was an actual giant. So people were paying to see him, and that's how. And so the suit was just something odd that Vince's creators came up with, and they put it on him. Wasn't a big success story, but it wasn't bad.
yeah. I mean, it's a memorable outfit. I've just always wondered if that was. I could just kind of like picture Vince like trying to like pitching the idea
Yeah,
that
I
he's
get what
like
you're saying.
that's actually
I
him.
get what you're saying. Yeah, it makes sense. That's a good, cool question, but I don't think Vince had any ill intent about have him being naked, or but maybe I don't know. I'm not sure. And I love Vince McMahon. He's one of my favorite guys. I
And just who could forget the visual of Gonzalez and the Undertaker at WrestleMania, standing across from each other. One of the greatest visuals, probably in WrestleMania history. But yeah, and that's the kind of like history that now comes with our AWA commissioner, and that's just really
I
cool.
can't wait to be a part of AID. Well, I am a part of it right now. I signed a 1 year contract, verbal contract. Now I signed a paper contract, and I'm the AWA commissioner, Daddy. And I can't wait to meet Koloff, Mother Endless, Funny Bone, Mike Law, all the other champions, the Blood Brothers, Paragon. I can't wait to meet these guys, man. I can't wait. And I can't wait to bring in something to the company. I'm a winner just like you, Daddy. I can't wait. I'm going to bring something to the company. I'm not going to let you fans down at all. I'm going to enhance it the best I can.
No, yeah, we know you will. I once again, like, I cannot tell you how excited I am to be able to
Very
speak
cool,
to you
Mike.
right
Me
now,
too. It's flattering that
and
you
to
say that. Are you
have you on the
kidding me?
show.
I'm flattered to be on live with you. Damn, I'm on. You're the host, Daddy. It's pretty cool. So it's amazing to speak with you, man.
Uh, Thank you.
I'm
That means a
sincere
lot.
about
That
that.
means
You
a
got a
lot
great
coming from
voice, you
you.
got a good look, and I think you're going to do a fantastic job for AWA. I think I got a good feeling about you.
Thank you. That
Yeah, and
really
I'm
means a
sincere.
lot.
So,
Wow. Well,
yeah,
Fonz, thank you for coming on the show and chatting with me. And I speak for everyone when I say that we can't wait to see what you have in store for AWA. You know, I can't wait to see you call it straight down the middle, as
it's
it were.
right down the middle.
And before,
Right down the middle, Daddy.
mm-hmm,
And hey, I can't wait to see what you guys got in
and
store for me. You know?
oh, we should be able to. I'm hoping we're going to be able to
Very cool,
surprise you a
man. I
little
can't
bit
wait
with
stars,
what we're able to
man. So
show
I'm
off.
excited as hell.
And
Okay.
before we sign off, I just want to remind everybody at home that December 17th, Cold War Christmas, is the event, which not only promises just a great night of professional wrestling, but also will be collecting canned goods for the benefit of those in need for the holidays. So details for that event can be found down below in the show description. Of course, come help out for a good cause. And for me, for Fonzie, we'll catch you later.
Good night, guys. I can't wait. Thanks, Mike. You're great.